Sure.
Without objection, so it is adopted. And we're going to proceed directly to our reports from our police and fire representatives, starting with our Zone 6 reps, Sergeant Mitchell and Officer Roman. Thank you for coming.
No problem. Really quick, I just wanted to come and introduce myself.
Other than that, we have one burglary, 921 Ponds Place. That was residential. And then we had a bike stolen off of Virginia. It was just chained up outside. They cut the chain and took it. Other than that, what do you guys got? Anything that I can answer?
Last question,
Got my sergeant here. She can help out.
any questions for either? Well, thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you very much, and good luck tonight. Be careful.
Thank you.
We also have with us tonight Lieutenant Jeff Baxter from APD's new Beltline Patrol. And sir, we are glad to have you here and appreciate your work. And the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lieutenant Jeff Baxter. I'm with the Atlanta Police Department. I've been here about 16 years now. And I'm the unit commander for the new unit that we just started up to provide public safety to the Atlanta Beltline, its adjoining parks and communities. And we're very excited about it. If you look at the Atlanta Beltline right now, it's kind of broken up into a couple different pieces. And that main piece being the piece that's here that runs through your community in terms of how many people use it and crime that's happened on it. And so, you know, you guys are the most popular thing going right now with the East Side Trail. The Beltline group recently hired a company to come out with video to try to count how many people were actually using the Beltline's East Side Trail. And they estimated this was just for one weekend. I believe it was Easter weekend. On a Saturday and Sunday, they would get out there with. So with that, we also recently conducted some training. I know John Wolfinger here was instrumental in trying to line that up. We actually, some of my officers out of the 15 weren't bicycle certified. If you're going to ride a bicycle as part of being a police officer, you have to go through a 40-hour block of instruction where they teach you different methods and ways to patrol on a bicycle. I had about 5 or 6 years, so we're trying to get that engagement. So
Well, we're really glad to have you. 15 officers and 2 sergeants for 16 shifts a week. Is that enough?
I would like more. Eventually, I'm going to keep asking for more. This was kind of our initial rollout, that we've done, and I would certainly like to get more.
Sure. You might have mentioned this, but do you have the mounted police out there? Number one, that's one question,
Right.
And how y'all interact with them. And the other is, I've heard of just horses, civilian horses and riders being out there. Is that legal or not?
So, to answer your first question, our mounted patrol unit within APD, they're on board with us in providing public safety out there. So the horses are part of the overall strategy to have people out there. So they're incorporated with us. So we push to have them out there, and they're out there. Moving forward, we're trying to get 2 horses right now that will be dedicated to nothing but the Beltline. And they'll be under my span of control. Right now, the Mounted Patrol unit is a separate unit within APD, just like I have this unit now, and there's the Mounted unit. But I'll have 2 officers that are in the Mounted Patrol, but they'll be tasked with being out on the Beltline. Right now, they do a pretty good job of getting out there anyway, but we want to eventually move towards having dedicated horses for the Beltline. Now, the folks that are out there riding, and they're not the police, they're not really supposed to be out there. And so, we've gotten some emails and stuff about some riders that folks have seen out there. And eventually, I'm sure we're going to cross paths and kind of give them a friendly, you guys can't be out here, So, but yeah, I mean, they're out there. I don't know what entity they're with or what group they're with, but there's like one or two that have been spotted out there walking on the Beltline. So,
Matt, do you have a question?
Oh, no, my question was answered, thank you.
So as you know, I'm sure, I mean, it's used way past Monroe, it's used, as you mentioned, down at Piedmont, it's used actually well past Piedmont. all
Right
the way
behind
to
Ainsley Mall, we're gonna keep going.
And actually,
forward.
yeah, do y'all go down there occasionally?
Absolutely, even where there's no concrete and there's dirt, we go.
There's a lot of people, well, it's fun, it's a
Yeah.
nice section.
And so I know John spoke about, we have students that go to Grady High School that, get on it, like where Montgomery Ferry is, and then use that to get to school, and so, yeah, I mean, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be where anyone else is, so that's our plan.
When we spoke a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned undercover officers out on the belt line.
Right.
Who are going to look like users of the belt line. Is that happening
Absolutely.
yet, or?
Yeah, so I have the ability and the authority within the unit that we created to be out there to, if we pick up on a crime pattern, crime trends, something happening weird around the same time, same place, like stuff keeps happening, we have the ability to be in plain clothes, so we can dress like anyone else and pretend to be out there, but really we're spotting. And we have a Bluetooth in and we're able to say, hey, someone needs to come over here and check this guy out, or someone needs to come do this or that. So I can have plainclothes officers, both male and female, out there in an undercover capacity to spot and help call us in. And I can also have that with, I can have one of my officers, we were talking the other day about an old beach cruiser. So I can have an officer in a tank top, flip-flops on the beach cruiser going up and down, waiting to look for something to call in for us to be able to pounce on. So that's definitely a capability that
That'd be a pretty alarming look.
I have one of my young guys, he's probably 24. He really wants to skateboard, so he wants to go to skate park, and he wants to skateboard undercover. So, but yes, we have that capability.
Outstanding. Well, we appreciate your very, oh, I'm sorry.
Are there any other, you mentioned the safety class, or, how you make the neighborhood involved, are there
Right.
any other like self-defense or safety classes that people could take, you guys recommend, that you offer through the department, or?
Well, the one thing I'd like to mention is the Citizens Police Academy. I think that John is a graduate of that. I don't know if anyone else here has gone through it. But we offer a Citizens Police Academy where you actually go to our police academy and we run you through the different classes that actual police recruits go through. And it gives you a taste of what the police deal with and the kind of classes that they have. In terms of strictly self-defense, I'd have to think about that. I'll leave you my information. I can't recommend anything off the top of my head. That might be like a private, local kind of thing.
All right, well, first I want to thank John Becker for arranging to have Lieutenant Baxter here. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We'd love to do, maybe if you guys want to come ride with us, we're all bike enthusiasts, we all like to ride, and we all enjoy being out there.
Well, Lola rides horses, by the way.
We love, our stables are at Grant Park. We have a very big equestrian stables that are set up down by Grant Park. And they have a pasture, and it's really a big deal. So we have about, I think we're up to 11 horses right now, 11 full-time horses that are out there every day. And so I can certainly arrange for you if you want to come down and check out our stables. We can show you. It's right down by Grant Park.
Thank you for coming. You feel free to come at any time. I mean, you don't have to wait for something unpleasant. Come when you just plan to come back and at will, but also just to give us some regular updates. And I think everybody's going to feel better about it. It's
Visible. And so, but I want everyone to know that it's safe. I mean, if you look at what's happened this year compared to the 8,000 people just on a weekend that are out there, I mean, it's very safe compared to other places that you might be. And now that we have police that do nothing but are out there every day just for that, it's very safe. And so I encourage everyone to use it.
All right, thanks for coming. We'll see you out there. Appreciate it.
And today was my day off. I had to come in from my house, so I had to bring my partner with me. He's there in the back. Can you say hello to everyone?
Thank you.
Thanks for
Come here.
All right, thanks very much.
There we go.
turn around and just wave to everyone? Say,
You didn't do it.
Thank you, Mason.
all right. Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks for
very
coming. I don't think we have any City of Atlanta officials here, and actually I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include the one variance VO87 that I had left off the list.
Second.
Without objection, that is ordered. We'll put it in numerical order, third on the list. And I think we're ready to go into planning.
Because do we have, who you know first? Eric, Mayor?
Yes.
Here, okay, great. This is, where's my list? ZRB, actually, 545, and it's Yo Burger with a change of ownership. Do you mind telling the crew here what's going on?
Nope. So my former business partner, we have replaced him with a new investor, a minority investor in the Burger, and hence we are applying for an amended liquor license for change of agent and change of ownership. So I am one of the founders, and I've been there since day one. So nothing will change. I've always been the managing partner, and we are just looking to change to have me as the agent and amend for the new minority investor. Yep.
And could you give us the names of both of those people, the previous owner?
Previous owner was Sean Doty, and the new owner is Scott Fitzgerald.
So I think we asked at the meeting about the training program is continuing. There are no liquor violations of the code even alleged. And
Correct.
the same management is in place.
Same, yep.
And so what was the recommendation of the planning committee?
We wanted to move it forward with no objection in the,
Is that a motion?
sure.
Is there a second? Any further discussion, questions from anyone? All in favor, please say aye. We're done. Thank you very much. So
Thank you.
7 o'clock at Hillside next
Next month.
Monday.
Yep.
Probably be on right around the same.
Okay.
More or less.
Thank you.
Thanks for,
B13-021, 960 Highland Terrace, but the application's been withdrawn. And so the planning committee recommended,
denial without prejudice. Bring it back if they ever wish. Is there a second? Is there any objection or comment? All in favor, please say aye.
okay. And then B13-077 is 770 Greenwood Avenue, and we have the applicants here. Michelle Cray is the architect, she's out of town, so we have Angela and
Matt.
Matt. If you guys would go ahead and stand up and talk about the project, what you're planning, your plans are, and the variance that you're asking for.
Do you have one?
So we're seeking a variance from the zoning regulations were appropriate for the work to be done, and it all matched. So it's been audited, they've been on the ground, and they're now getting ready to deposit the checks because they're comfortable with it. They've got the funds allocated. And so it should move along fairly quickly. The bundle from last year, the St. Charles bundle, should have started today, but didn't. And I believe it's because they were uncertain about rain. So there's nothing except rain between us and construction. So they'll be out there this week. We also, just the last thing on sidewalks, I've also been working with the city on their sidewalk policy, and we've put together a series of recommendations for the city, which I'm going to vet with the utility committee. Alex Wan's already been over it with me. And once I've gone through the utility committee with it to start promoting it with the city, I'll ask John to put it up on the website and in the e-newsletter so everybody can sort of see what it's about. And that's sidewalks. Streets Alive has been mostly working on the Peachtree project because that comes up first, but they're very definitely planning an October Streets Alive event in our neighborhood. They're thinking that it'll be North Highland, but they're thinking that rather than using Virginia as the cross street, they might use North Avenue as the cross street. So they're doing a little planning about which streets will actually be closed and for what period of time. So as that comes along, we'll know about it.
Would stop before it gets to us at North, or do we?
No. It would still be
Got it.
all linear along North
Got it.
Highland, but the east-west bit would be north instead of Virginia.
Back to the Beltline.
Well, it doesn't, you can't get to the Beltline and all that.
You'd have to veer off of, you'd have to veer
That's why
off.
Virginia was a better option, but
And they may end up back in Virginia, it's just a question.
North has some serious hills too, right?
Yeah, that one big hill,
Yeah.
it's really tough. So anyway, I don't know, but I'll keep you posted as that moves along.
All right, questions, comments? Laura, good job, Peggy, way to go.
Oh, one other thing I wanted to mention, just so we can have it on the tape. We've had recently a couple of requests of the city to fix signs and, just small things that have gotten broken or aren't right. And the city's been really responsive, like very good fixes, kind of coordinating parks and DPW together to get the fixes done, and they've been happening pretty quickly. So it's been kind of a pleasure.
Peggy, I have a question. I don't know if this falls within your sidewalk purview, but the overpass of Cayuga and Virginia, the Beltline runs underneath. The weeds there are always terrible, and I email the city every few months and request weed abatement for that area. Can you picture what I'm talking? Is that the best procedure to email? Truthfully, I don't remember if I email anymore, what department it is, but they seem to come out if I email them 5 or 6 times and request weed abatement. They usually take care of it. But that whole Cayuga triangle, Cayuga, Virginia, Monroe, and then of course there are other areas too where the weeds in the curbs and on the sidewalk are really terrible.
My backyard. A pretty good example of that. Seems like I talked to the city about it about a year ago, and their kind of allocation for how often they get to that is every few months. So, they whack it, and then it comes back in a couple of weeks, and they're not back out for a few months. So I don't think we can get them to come out officially more often. So yes, in answer to your question, the thing to do is just keep bothering and bothering and bothering. Now, probably help if we can develop an individual who's our contact person, if we can find it.
I might have that. I can search my BlackBerry when I'm at the meeting, but I'm the person has been responsive that I email, but as I said, I usually email 5 or 6 times, and I wasn't sure if there was just a more efficient